Hello Virgo, this is going to be a reading for March 28th through April 4th. There is a new moon in there somewhere. I'll be honest, I don't remember where and I don't have my notes with me. I think it's on the 2nd or 3rd perhaps, so might want to look into that. It's good to know what the moon is doing with our human dramas and whatnot. I am obviously not in my studio. I'm at a friend's house in her beautiful backyard. This is an experiment. There's a neighbor over here that's some sort of farmer using some sort of equipment, so hopefully you can hear me. You might hear chickens or geese flying by or dogs. I just heard some awesome frogs a moment ago. It's an experiment, but it's a pretty one. So Virgo, this week we're going to take a look at your past, present, future energies of the week, your challenge, and what does and doesn't work for you moving through those energies. Let's get started. Okay, Virgo. Give me a moment to look at your cards and then we'll get started. Wow, you know, and I shuffle these cards, a lot of you guys, a lot of signs have been getting the 5 of Cups in different positions. All different positions, but still it's just like this energy that's in everybody's space this week, seems like. Or at least air and earth signs so far. Yeah, you know, I see some power for you here this week, Virgo. Moving into the energy of the week, we have the King of Pentacles. Feeling pretty secure, you know, that's good, because a lot of people aren't. So Virgo is feeling pretty secure this week in your space and in your environment. Maybe like just really comfortable, maybe too comfortable, but no, it just kind of feels good. It feels like, especially with what you know, the other stuff that's going on here, it's just, you know, it feels like you feel safe in your environment this week, moving into the energies of this week. And then in the present energy, so you have the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Emperor. I mean, this is all very amazing, self-confident, gorgeous energy. So moving into the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands takes that King of Pentacles energy, or at least for you this week, and she takes some action with it, you know, instead of just sitting here in your comfy study. You know that safeness is there, and you know, you move it kind of forward into this Queen of Wands, taking action and sort of almost a leadership type of, not leadership, it's not, I don't love to use the word leadership actually. When I think of the Queen of Wands personally, I mean, we're all going to read these cards differently, right? But when I think of the Queen of Wands, I feel like it's more like lead by example, and instead of like delegating, although you do move into the Emperor. So you have these 3 very strong energies. You start with the King of Pentacles, you're safe, you're comfy. You move out of the King of Pentacles into the Queen of Wands, where you're doing something active, and it's you're leading by example. You're inspiring other people, and then you move into the Emperor position in the near future, which is a little bit more delegating, right? When instead of the Queen of Wands, but just full of self-confidence. Whatever you're working through this week is, you're feeling pretty good. It looks pretty good, Virgo. In the challenge position, we have the Hangman. So I would say the only thing that I see going on here, so this is your challenge position, and then what doesn't work for you this week, we also have the Page of Swords. So what doesn't work for you this week is falling back into sort of a little bit of an immature use of words. I suppose is kind of what I'm getting. Because, you know, you have all of these super powerful cards and leading by example and feeling super self-confident. So what doesn't work for you is, you know, I want to say immature, even though I don't love using that word right now with the Page of Swords. But I mean, what doesn't work for you this week is kind of like starting something new and communicating in a different way than just like all-powerful, all-knowing almost. I mean, that sounds very arrogant, but hopefully that means something to you. You're probably like, yeah, I get it. Shut up. All right, move on. I'll move on. And your challenge position, we have the Hanged Man. And so, in your challenge this week, there could be some sort of something that's making you feel like you have to wait, something that's making you wait, maybe a little bit of not hesitation, but just, and I don't even want to say, maybe some procrastination, maybe, but it's probably more likely like a hang up that's outside of your control almost, because you have all of these cards of control. So what your challenge here could be, when you're comparing it to those other cards, it really could be to let go of a little bit of control and timing, and almost waiting for that divine timing, right? And while you're waiting in that space, really being able to see things from a different perspective, maybe from other people's perspective, because there's a lot of like you going on here. Yeah, that's what I would say about that. What does work for you this week? We have the Five of Cups, as I was talking about earlier. So what does work for you this week, especially if we're looking at that Hanged Man card and looking at that as your challenge, what could work for you this week is taking a look at, because you're full of power. So I feel like the cards aren't asking you to give up any of that power, but just while you're in that powerful, self-confident state, take a look at like what kind of hasn't really worked for you in the past, and what, especially because it seems like there's going to be a little bit of a delay in whatever you got going on. While that's happening, do a little bit of internal taking a look at something, like maybe this is, it's like a lost card. It's like you lost a part of yourself. Maybe in the past that bothered you and then you just ignored it. This almost is asking you to just take a look at it, during the lull this week, when you are feeling self-confident and super powerful, and you are in a place where you can address things that hurt you, or that you kind of shed in the past, but you haven't quite let go of yet. That's what I have for you this week, Virgo. Simple. I'm going to pull a Four Agreements card for you to help you get through the energies of your week, Virgo. The wind calmed down a little bit and I hear geese. I don't know if you guys hear geese in that microphone or not. All right, don't take anything personally. Embrace your freedom. Totally. You gain a huge amount of freedom when you take nothing personally. No spell can affect you, regardless of how strong it may be. And if you live without fear, if you love, you will be happy with your life. Yeah, I dig it, Virgo. And let's see, how did it word that? No spell can affect you, regardless of how strong it may be. And that could also have to do with this Page of Swords. Because, a spell is a word. And if we believe it, it becomes a reality, right? So I would almost say what doesn't work for you this week is, for taking a look at this Four Agreement card and what the Four Agreement said. It feels like listening to other people's words, especially when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're inexperienced, isn't working for you this week. So I would revisit that card and say that about that. So that's what I have for you this week, Virgo. Please like and subscribe. I need team members. That means subscribers. Join my team. Subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's grow together. Share with your kooky friends. As a reminder, this is a practice for me. For more on what that means, you can take a look at the info in the description. Thank you so much, Virgo. Happy new moon. Have a great week. I will see you next week.